Hoggie's beer reviews. Hoggie's beer reviews.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to a special edition of Hoggie's Beer Reviews. Now, what makes it special is because today we're tapping a keg. That's right, today we're finally getting to the mini keg, the 5-liter mini keg of Newcastle Brown Ale. Now, this keg, which you've seen in the background in the last few videos, and all these goodies you see right here are all courtesy of a gentleman named Jack Fullman. Now, Jack works for a company called Formula PR, and he hit me up on YouTube some time ago and said, hey, you know, I've checked out your videos. I'd like to send you a mini keg of Newcastle, have you check it out, have you review it. So obviously I wasn't going to say no to that. Now, Jack has already sent these to several people on YouTube. I know Joe D got one, Mixcat got one, several other people. So, you know, I think I may be like the 6th or so person to get sent one of these lovely mini kegs. But, you know, free beer is free beer, and I've never tried Newcastle on tap or out of the mini keg, so it's going to be a cool experience. He also sent me the Newcastle shirt, which is really cool. Walk the dog. I guess that's their little tagline. I don't really get it, but whatever. A beer shirt is always a cool thing. Got sent the Newcastle Brown Ale Schooner, an official Newcastle glass there. A couple of Newcastle coasters. This one I really like. The big Newcastle bartender bottle opener. Really like that. The Newcastle pen. Yeah. And the funny thing is I picked up at a beer fest late last year the smaller Newcastle keychain bottle opener. So that's cool stuff. Got a bunch of goodies, so thank you, Jack, and you know, here's your review, man. Now, like I said, I haven't had Newcastle on tap or out of the DraughtKeg before, but I have had Newcastle. I reviewed it on my website on beerbreath.com in '09. I picked up a 12-pack, and you know, it's not a bad beer from my recollection. I mean, I've drank it plenty of times in the past, but it's not the greatest thing either. But again, I've never had it draft. So that's going to be cool to try, and we'll get to that in just a second. Let's see. Just checking Beer Advocate real quick. Overall, on Beer Advocate, out of 1,411 reviews at the moment, Newcastle Brown Ale gets a B-. And the bros, guys who run Beer Advocate, they give it a C+. Now, this is, of course, from Scottish and Newcastle, actually in Scotland. And it's categorized as an English brown ale at 4.7 alcohol by volume, 4.7% ABV. So let's see, anything else to cover? No, let's get right to this. Now they sell these same draft kegs, that's what it's called. This is the DraughtKeg, and it's compatible with the little beer tender, little tap machine you can have in your kitchen that I guess keeps it cold. Supposedly, this is guaranteed fresh for 30 days, so your beer won't go flat or whatever for 30 days, and we're going to put that to the test. I will be doing at least 1 or 2 more videos over the next 30-day period, checking in on the beer to see if it really does stay fresh for 30 days, because this is not just a review of the beer itself, but of the delivery system. You know, you spend a few bucks on the mini keg, and you do want your beer to stay fresh and last, so we'll see how that goes. Anyways, it's real simple. It comes with a little plastic packet thingy up here. You just pop it open, and there's 3 pieces. They all just kind of snap in. And the next thing you know, the little spigot comes out here. You grab yourself a glass. You put it up like so. You lift this thing in the back here. And when I put the thing in, I already got a money shot of Newcastle all over my floor. So do it carefully if you're doing it at home. And you lift up the back thingy here. And boom. We're pouring some beer. All right. Takes a second, not a lot of pressure on this, but hey, what can you do? I'm trying to be gentle here. If you ever saw my Bell's Two-Hearted Ale, well, that's a completely different kind of keg. I got one hell of a foamy first pour, so I want to be gentle here. And hey, wouldn't you know, my first pour came out nice. Look at that. So, actually, yeah, it's about 1 inch ahead. I hate to pat myself on the back, shit, but that was a really good first pour there. All right, so this is like a ruby red, brownish color. It's, I mean, you can see some light through it. It's not dark, it's not hazy, but it's a brownish red. It's a really pretty color, actually. And the head is, you know, like an off-white khaki kind of thing, real dense, very small bubbles. And you get a beer smell. You get British yeast, kind of like that buttery cracker kind of hint of hops, like a noble hop, like a very mellow, mild hop. And just a hint of sweetness. And to their credit, these are nice glasses, man, and for just off of looks alone, it really goes good with this beer. They put some thought into it. So, I mean, it smells good. It smells mild. The smells aren't overpowering, but it's pleasant. And I figure, why keep waiting? Just drink it. Cheers. My first thought, this beer is so much better draft. You know what, the bottle doesn't do this beer justice. It's thin. You know, it's a very easy to drink, thin, and, you know, instead of thin you could say watery, but I mean it's a very thin mouthfeel. There's not a lot of texture to it, but there's flavor to it, there's character to it, there's a little bit of body and a little bit of fizz added by the head. And it's just very easy to drink. There's some hops at the end to kind of clear it, to kind of cleanse the palate, give you a little bitterness on the swallow. And the sweetness across the body, across the middle, as you're swallowing, ain't that sweet. But it's enough to kind of balance out. Again, this isn't a beer packed with flavor, but it's got enough flavor to make you enjoy drinking it. There's nothing off-putting about it. And I guess for like, you know, Brits, for the United Kingdom, I mean, you know, they're known for Guinness, they're known for stouts, you know, Scotland and their wee heavies and their, you know, Scottish ales, which are really rich and malty and even peaty at times. You know, then you have your Guinness, your really roasted, strong, bitter, roasted coffee and chocolate malts. You know, you drink a lot of that, and then you drink this, and this is like a light beer in comparison. Because it's lighter in body, it drinks a lot easier, the flavor isn't as intense. But overall, man, as a session beer, this is pretty good. And I got to admit, Jack, thanks for sending me the mini keg, because this beer is so much better draft. Yeah. The DraughtKeg, you know what? It's funny because I had some Heineken a few weeks ago at a party. I had one Heineken out of one of these. Granted, I don't know how long they had it there. I don't, you know the specs on it. And it gave a lot of head, and, you know, it was Heineken. I wasn't really too impressed. The folks we were visiting had the beer tender set up, which is like a little cooler thingy that's around. You know, you put this in there and it keeps it cold, and, you know, I guess it connects to the thing, so it dispenses out of their little spigot as opposed to this thing, but whatever. I wasn't impressed. But this, I don't see myself drinking Newcastle brown ale on a regular basis. But, you know, if I like this beer, or if I wanted to have something like this constantly in my fridge, I would really, I mean, if you want to have this beer in your fridge on a regular basis, this is a great way to do it, and put it that way. I like the DraughtKeg, I like the results, and I like this beer so much better draft than bottle. No way around it. Again, if you haven't had Newcastle before, I wouldn't call it a craft beer. It's not a macro, overly commercialized crappy beer, but I wouldn't call it a craft beer. It's a very simple beer in a traditional style. You know, there's better brown ales out there that have more flavor, that have higher alcohol content, that, you know, have more to offer. But this is very simple. So if you just want to kick around, you know, watch a game, or just, you know, wash down some food or whatever with a pretty decent beer, this is the way to go. And based on that, my rating on this beer draft would be a glass half full. Again, it's not spectacular, but there's nothing off-putting, and it's very simple, easy to drink. It's under 5% alcohol, so it's sessionable. You can pound these and not have too bad a headache the next day, because it depends how many you pound. And this is a 5-liter DraughtKeg. If I remember correctly, that should give you approximately 14, 12-ounce servings, something like that. Don't quote me, I haven't done the math in a while. But that's that, guys. Newcastle. I'm going to be coming back at least once or twice within the next 30 days to check in on the freshness of this beer. Jack, once again, thank you. So all the new subscribers and everybody who's still checking in, thank you. And stay tuned. Within a day or so of posting this, I'm posting a video called Hoggie 3.0, just kind of a vlog update thing on some things that are going on, the new look to the videos and all that. So stay tuned for that. And again, not much more to say. Newcastle, glass half full, DraughtKeg, thumbs up. I'm going to keep drinking these while I do some editing. I'm out of here, guys. Cheers. Something you can't do too often at home. Top yourself off. I think I'll fade to black on this. Later, guys.